Today is Thursday, the 2nd of October. Oh, that's a good one. Almost sharded myself. I just wanted to go through, I happen to be down here at Recoil Audio, and so I wanted to promote some of the stuff that they have in stock that they want me to move and post. Some of that is the SXS 10D2. They only have this is the shallow woofer I did a review on. They also have the 10 and then the 12, both in D2. They have the new LW series, which is the level 3, it's the yellow cone ones. Those will only come in single 4-ohm. And then the new SW series, which I don't think I've actually done a review on them. I've posted some pictures. But those are the ones that, again, minimum advertised price is not what I'm selling them for. But again, I can't advertise a price any lower than that. So you got to hit me up for them, okay? So, but these are really, really nice. They use a full 3-inch coil. Hopefully I'll do a review on them soon. But again, I have to get sort of authorized, because otherwise I can't move them. I put down the money and then it just sits there. And right now I'm like super broke. So I got to pay a bill today of $400 for epoxy, for devil's jizz. The REA 600.4, we got some used ones in for a really good price. I already tested at least one. The MX65, which is your guys' favorite. I keep wanting them to include a 100 microfarad capacitor as a high pass, because you really need to cross them up at 400 hertz. So, but these are great coaxials. We got about 6 pair of returns, but typically people just burn up the tweeter and then they send them back. So again, I can get you really good pricing on this. I can't say what pricing, and again, I can't advertise any less than what they're telling me, which is MAP, minimum advertised price, but I can get you a good deal on those. Recoil wire kits. This is the RCK44, which is a 4-channel 4-gauge CCA. And remember that the CCA kits that they use and the wire that they sell is all oversized. So it's over spec, so it gives you a little bit extra. Number one, to be competitive with what else is out there. And a lot of times, some of these Chinese kits that they get CCA, because you're not going to find CCA anywhere else other than coming from China. But a lot of times, these CCA kits, they do a regular wire gauge, or they do a Chinese gauge, which is usually half the size. So like it'll be like 4-gauge, and then it'll be like half of regular 4-gauge, which again I don't understand. But again, and I think that's bad for number one, it's bad for business. Number two, it's bad for China's reputation. So, and I think China has a bad reputation. I understand that some of it is earned, but I still think there's some really great stuff that comes out of China, including from vendors like Hertz, Focal, JL Audio, and all the fancy Audio Frog. Oh my God! There's this guy that he ran a shop over there on Arizona Avenue in Elliott called Handcrafted Car Audio, and he's selling an Audio Frog woofer that normally the Audio Frog won't even give me the price on a new one. They make you subscribe, and it's one of again, Audio Frog is a super generic brand. All they do is order stuff from China, and they put a very simple sticker on it. To me it's a joke, but they do numbers, and so how can you argue with that? But anyways, the former owner of that shop is selling a 10-inch for like $100, which is a good deal for the Audio Frog, because normally I think the woofer goes for about $400 or $500, and it's only a 250 watt subwoofer. And but I looked at his name and I go, oh, I recognize that guy. I recognize this name, and because he's out there in Gilbert, and it's on Facebook Marketplace, and I was like, oh yeah, that guy hates me. So because I was on a Facebook forum for local, again, I was just promoting, and also sometimes I like to answer questions like I do on the live streams and stuff, and they were not having any of that. The guy was talking up tube amplifiers and fancy pants things. Again, all things that make shops money, that make brands money, because it's a trick. It's all of a sudden, if this is Gucci, If these are Gucci speakers, they're usually going to be pretty ugly. They'll sound great, but then, you know, they cost $1,000. So, you know, what are you doing? This was out front on the desk. I know the stickers will never move, so I wanted to grab them and distribute them, but I can show you guys. So I'm sure this is a local brand for, oh, Angry Monkey Jerky. Oh, maybe they got it from buying some jerky online. So, for the office. But anyways, Jonathan and like Krakowski or something like that. But anyways, I always thought that was funny when I recognized who he was. Like, oh yeah, that guy hates me. But anyways, Echo Pro series shallows. I think I brought the one that I had back. They make a shallow 8 right now, which I can just do a video review on, where I just look at the specs on the Edge website and then just talk about it a little bit and give my commentary. I think the FS on it was in the 40s, which I did not like, but again, that may not be true until I get it, break it in and test it and all that kind of stuff. But they do have the PW8s in stock, which I actually do like, because the FS was down to 34 hertz, even though the printed spec is like 40, 42, something like that. PW10s, this is the new DI 1200.4 that everybody loves. I found these for $169 new on eBay. And then, yeah, so what happens is they post it on Amazon first. And then when they stop selling, what Amazon will do is they'll kick it out. They'll say like, hey, you're losing money on these because of the storage and administrative costs. And so they kick it out and they'll send everything that Amazon has back here to the warehouse. And then what they do is they just make it available to the crew that now works the eBay account. And so Recoil Audio now has its own eBay account, and you can order from them. It gets shipped out of here, which again is fine. But we were trying to come up with a price that is below theirs, but also sort of, you know, acknowledges that the amplifier is used, but it's also tested. So, and then it comes through Robot. And so we're offering the DI 1200.4 for only $85 shipped to any state in the lower 48. And then it's a couple bucks more, and probably like 10 bucks more to send it through priority mail to Alaska, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and Virgin Islands. Everywhere that they deliver priority mail. RM65s. I forget what that one is. PW12. They said they have PW15s out here as well. There they are. So PW15D4 and PW15D2 should be in stock. I'm not seeing. Oh, there it is. There's the D2 down there. And then USP65B. That sounds like a some like a baffle, or sometimes they have just rubber covers for like marine stuff. It's like a bullshit thing. I like. It doesn't apply to me. And then of course the RW series, which is by far my favorite. It's very affordable and it plays low. We got a shit ton of the 8s in, basically about that many 8s back at the house, and I got to go through and test them. So those are for sale, and again, I'll probably do a really deep discount on those, or just keep them and sell them local, or do some big project with them, because these are already pretty affordable. So I don't think I'll make much on them. So this is what it looks like out of the box. This is the one I pulled out like 2 years ago and I was using for testing. So again, it's one of the only 8s that plays down to 30 hertz, and it's very affordable. Last time I checked on pricing, it was 40 bucks, but it may have changed since then. So just so you know. Some of the accessories that they get returned. Sometimes if you just need parts or something like that, you can hit up Steven and they'll pull something from one of these bins. You know, like if you just need another set of RCAs, this is the premium RCA, the other RCAs. This is where all the accessories go that don't sell. Let's see. Some sort of battery switch, battery terminals, all kinds of stuff. But this is where they keep stuff that they don't want to throw in the trash. They don't want to put in a long-term storage, but they have plenty of. Again, every one of these products has gone through the cycle of being placed on Amazon, and then now it's for sale on eBay. So I'm also looking for the RT. It would be called the RT4. No, that's a ring terminal. I'm looking for a spade terminal, so it'd be SP. RT spade terminal 408. I think these are the ones. Pull this down. Let me pause this. Yeah, those are the ones I've been looking for. It's the ST408. It's a 4-gauge spade terminal, fork, crimp type. And then what I do is I include these with the DI series amplifiers, because they use those terminals that you saw on like the old kicker amps and stuff. Which it's fine, it's good enough. It's just the production cost is lower, and that's what helps keep the price lower too. These are premium wire kits. That's the CCA wire kits. Premium meaning copper. But they really switch things up around here. This is the new, I think, it says power wire, 18. So PW1 would be power wire. It's probably single 8 gauge, 500 feet. So that is up and available. PW18RD-500. A lot of times if you can't find the part number on recoilaudio.com, and especially on recoilaudioUSA.com, make sure you go and look at the parent company, which is edgeholdings.com. That's where they have everything they sell internationally. And so what they do now is they treat America as a territory and a distributor, and that's where Recoil Audio USA will have direct sales. And then the recoilaudio.com is basically what is out there in the network. It may not be in the USA territory. It may be in Philippines or Australia, somewhere else, but typically that's the worldwide product announcement availability for the worldwide market rather than just USA. RS1250, that's one of my favorites. But now that we got a whole bunch of kits and a bunch of basically what they call garbage, which is where like somebody opens up a kit and they steal a little piece of wire or a fuse holder, and then they send the whole thing back. Then they put that in a box, and then they either call the Mexicans or they call me. And so I got a ton of that shit now, and I actually had 2 spools of wire that I was going to bring back, but I forgot because I got to get out of here actually, now that I'm thinking about it. My Miss Gracie, she's got to go to the groomer today. These are the cast frame, the RX69 and RX65. And again, one of the reasons why I'm doing this video is to remind you guys that they have plenty of stuff in the warehouse. They may not be able to get to your order because they're focused on the bigger orders, like for Amazon or for a dealer. So right now they are that busy. Anytime you want to buy, like with a credit card, something that's individual, you have to order through eBay. And what you can do is email those guys, email that team through eBay and tell them what you want, and they'll get it to you. If you're okay doing Cash App with me, do Cash App with me. These are the 5Ks. Again, I cannot advertise the price that I get them to you for, but I can get them to you for cheap. These are the micro amplifiers. I still have one of the 680.1s that I want. I don't want to return it. I'd rather sell it, and I want to pair it up with the new level 3 subwoofers that you saw with the yellow cones. And then that's the level 3 8s, LW8S4. And these are supposed to be on par with the JL Audio WX, if you guys remember that series. I don't know if they sell it anymore. And this is all the DI and DII stuff. These amplifiers, sometimes you can find these for MAP on Amazon, or not Amazon, on eBay. So, because dealers are allowed to sell at MAP out in the open like that. And then here's more of the SPL woofers, which I'm hoping to get some of the dead ones back so we can dissect them and show them to you guys. I think that was it. That's all I wanted to show you, but that was it. I love you guys. Again, text me direct with your name and your shipping address, 602-312-6504. What I do is I put your information, or have Sherry put your information into the phone, and then we can have a conversation about your sexual preferences or your kinks, or even just what kind of system you want to put together and what equipment you want. Sometimes some items that are either say out of stock or unavailable, they are available and they are in stock. It's just that it's not worth the time and effort to reactivate that series or that offering. Does that make sense? See all these these pallets right here. This whole series of pallets, that's all going to Amazon today. So, and they do that like, I want to say twice a week, at least once a week. Yeah, 10, 12 pallets, and that's what pays all the bills. So, and then the other side is all Cicada, and that's the gravy. All that money's for Jesus. So, up there is the ceiling speakers, right there. And then also somebody was asking about the HX series. I actually have one of those. I'll do a review on it. Hopefully it's dead, so that way I can cut it open and show you guys, and then show you the differences between the MX and the HX and all that kind of stuff. So, I'll talk to you later, though. I love you guys. Bye. One last thing. I don't want to say don't listen to Wang Hai, or Hai Wang. He switched his name, last name first name last, on Facebook. So whenever, and he is the president and CEO of Edge Holdings, as well as Recoil International. So I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just want to give you guys a heads up that he is very enthusiastic, and he loves undercutting the competition and having innovative products, something that looks new, it looks different, and he's really excited. He loves money, just like everyone else associated in car audio. So one of the problems that I have, and Larry F had the same opinion, which was, I don't think it's a good idea to promote new product that is still a year or more away from actually being available in the US market. So a lot of the stuff that Wang Hai promotes on his Facebook channel, which again, he has every right to do, it's his company, he can do that. The problem is that I think it builds up false hope, and you are consistently let down. Okay, now I really think they should promote more of the Cicada brand, and that Wang Hai should promote that on Facebook. I think that is very deserved, because that stuff's already in the channel. They're not going to be coming out with too many more new SKUs, just because what they're doing now is fine, and it addresses probably 95% of the market. But Recoil is one of those things that it's basically what they've done with Recoil is turned it into a clearinghouse brand for a lot of the ideas and products that they used to make for other companies. So, and that's for Edge. So Edge Holdings is the one that has the factory connections in China, and they used to make for JL Audio, Rockford Fosgate, who else? Metra. So, and then Metra also includes like Tsunami, the brand that was a Metra brand. You've also seen that they import products for SMD for Steve Mead, and trying to think who else that of brands that you would recognize, but yeah, a lot of very popular brands, and they work with anybody. So anybody that wants to order something from China and you want to make sure that it's right, Edge Holdings is great to work with. You can probably email Monica, and it's Monica Jin, Gin, and you can find her, I think, on Instagram. She controls the Instagram channel for Recoil, and you can contact her that way if you want to import a product and you want it to look really nice. And again, use maybe some of the stylings that are already available to produce your product. There was somebody that hit me up the other day for South Africa, and again, you can either, if you want to do it real quick, just import the Recoil brand, especially if you have, if you're the first person to reach out and import that stuff into your market. That's a really great way to use Recoil. And then when you get the cash flowing and you can wait a year to 18 months to produce, your fancy pants product, that's probably the way to go. But yeah, Monica Jin at edgeholdings.com, I think is her email address. If not, just hit me up. Again, text me direct, 602-312-6504. And again, my message is I'm not saying that don't listen to Wang Hai on Facebook. I'm just saying be aware that not everything that does well internationally should do and can do in the next 6 months in the U.S. market. So just because they produce it doesn't mean the U.S. market is either going to take it on or bring it to market, because again, competition is super stiff and super diverse in the U.S. market. So there's a lot of other companies that are doing the same thing. Right now, Stinger is a upcoming brand for as an internet brand now, and I don't know if they've dropped all their dealers or what. And Stinger is by AAMP of America, and I think one of the founders of that ended up dying. I'm not sure if that was Lloyd Ivy, but it's interesting. Again, nobody really talks about that kind of history and why all of a sudden you see a brand reborn under new management or something like that. But anyways, I'm not saying don't listen to Wang Hai. I'm just saying take what he says with a grain of salt and do your best not to have high expectations from what he promotes on Facebook. I brought this up to management at Recoil, and they said, you got to respect him because it's his company. He can do it any way that he wants. Also, it's a sometimes Wang Hai will strongly suggest that the U.S. market pick up this thing and try it. But the problem is that there's a lot of, you saw how full the warehouse is right now. And to move right now it would be very, very difficult. Even though I think there was a 20,000 square foot warehouse across the street. Right now they're in 10,000 square feet. So eventually they will have to move the Recoil brand, and then that place will take over for Cicada full time. So, but at least that's what I know. Again, I'm not technically part of them, which I appreciate, because I think, it doesn't matter what I think. I'll save that opinion for later. But that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. And again, if you need anything, just text me direct, get into the phone, so then you become an important person. If you're just some rando that doesn't want to give up their information, I'm not going to respond to you. So, love you. Oh, lastly, that's why I wanted to do the update was, lastly, Wang Hai was promoting a new RCA cable for Recoil, and it is the type that rips off the shield from the amplifier or whatever equipment that you're using, head unit or whatever. I do not like those. So they were, again, I'm not saying that it was a disaster product that when they made the version for Lightning Audio on their Storm series. I'm saying that anybody that makes those will rip the RCA shield right off the amplifier, whatever equipment you're working with. As soon as you unplug it, and again, I don't recommend that. Does it look pretty? Is it super fancy? Do you have to have Tiffany RCA connectors? It helps, definitely, but does it help with signal conductivity? No. The regular molded ones work just fine, and they're a lot more affordable. And again, I don't recommend that particular RCA shield termination. The other one they do is they make the center pin split, and so that gets real grabby as well. It doesn't need to be that secure of a connection, and if you think it does, then you need what's called an amp connector, AMP, and they make twist-on threaded connectors for like military applications, for military equipment. That's what, if you think you need that, then that's what you should use. And you can buy those separate. They're super expensive, but if you want the best, that's one way to go. And then they use either solid gold or gold-plated brass or gold-plated copper connectors within the overall device. So that's it. All right, get to work. Oh, sorry, last thing. AMP is short for Amphenol. And there actually happens to be an Amphenol connector, I don't want to say factory, it might be a distribution place over here in Mesa. So it's Amphenol connectors, and you can Google that. I'll even put a link to it in the description so you can see what real military, ultra awesome, super duper connectors, signal connectors look like.
Hold up.